Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Leanne Sanders. The rise in carbon tax has had protesters out for the last 3 days in Lloydminster. The recent carbon tax increase has led to gas rising 3.3 cents per litre since April 1st, leaving many people upset about the cost of living across the country and many taking a stand against the government.
All we want is to end the carbon tax. We want to put the money back in people's pockets. We want to end starvation. We want to end the homelessness that's occurring at a rampant rate right now.
Gas isn't the only thing affected by the carbon tax increase, as this will be added to other fuels such as natural gas and propane, impacting people in different ways.
The farmers, for one, are really going to suffer from this tax. They're already struggling right now, and that's probably why you're not seeing them out, because they're just trying to keep their heads above water.
The leader of the opposition, Pierre Poilievre, has demanded Prime Minister Trudeau meet with premiers that are against the carbon tax. Many, including Alberta's Danielle Smith, have voiced that the carbon tax needs to go and they can hit climate targets without the tax. Debate continues at City Council for the new Lloydminster Golf and Curling Centre maintenance shop. No solution has been found as Council looks to find the cheapest route for addressing the aging maintenance shop.
Council agrees that it needs to be replaced. It has deteriorated dramatically, and it's an old building that was never intended to be that purpose. It's in the wrong spot. It's partially on CP's land.
The original proposal had the project sitting at roughly $3 million, with negative reactions from both the community and City Council members.
And it was defeated. The majority of council voted against that, so it came back to administration. We had the second motion, which is to move forward with tender documents to build to the relatively the same spec, so decreasing the scope that they proposed, and building and looking at what it might cost to build a maintenance shop that's a little bit more similar to what already exists.
The maintenance shop rehabilitation will return to Council 2 more times before a final decision. Lloydminster's 60-year-old outdoor swimming pool has a new name under a new naming rights partnership. It will now be known as the Co-op Community Outdoor Pool. The city calls the $50,000 deal another significant milestone in community collaboration. The partnership is for 5 years, which the city says will allow it to maintain and improve the outdoor pool, ensuring a safe and welcoming aquatic facility for years to come. Last year, 53 membership holders checked in 594 times, and more than 8,000 general admission passes were sold. Callum Hawker joins me now with the weather. Mainly cloudy day today, Callum, but maybe getting some snow or something in a day or so.
Yeah, overnight doesn't look too great in terms of precipitation. We'll probably get a light shower tonight, and then that could go into tomorrow morning as well. And like you said, Leanne, the cloud coverage really didn't help today. It was pretty overcast, very gray day outside, especially when you're talking about the last couple days being extremely sunny. And you look at those winds as well, that's not helping the wind chill. 6 degrees currently in the border city, but it's making it feel like 1 degree with these 32-kilometer-an-hour winds. So it has been a pretty windy day and also very cloudy. So yeah, and you see that humidity rise up as well. So most likely some precipitation coming into tonight and then going into tomorrow morning as well. And then as we look across the region, here's some pretty warm temperatures as well going across Alberta and Saskatchewan. Up in Cold Lake, 7 degrees currently. Bonnyville and St. Paul both sitting at that 8-degree mark, while Lac La Biche is at 9. Down in Vegreville sitting at 11 degrees, pretty warm out there. And as we move all the way west to Edmonton, they're sitting at a comfortable 9 degrees currently. Vermilion's at 7, while Wainwright is at 8. And then down in Provost, we're sitting at 6 degrees currently. And then looking over on the Saskatchewan side here, pretty similar to the Alberta side. Pearceland's at 8, Isle La Crosse also at that 8-degree mark. Green Lake at 9, Meadow Lake just below it at 8, St. Walburg at 7. Maidstone sitting at 6 degrees currently, while Macklin's at 7 and North Battleford's at 8. And as we look at North Battleford for tonight, tonight's forecast will be, plenty of clouds just like Lloydminster. Not too cold though, only a low of -2 with less winds out there. Some northwest winds coming at 11 kilometers an hour. So the winds won't really affect the overnight temperatures in North Battleford. And then looking over at tomorrow's forecast, like Lloydminster, will be cloudy and cold. Could get a bit of rain with that 81% chance of precipitation, but a high of 4 degrees, so not too cold in North Battleford tomorrow. And it should just be rain with those, temperatures at 4 degrees. Shouldn't turn into snow. And as we look tonight in Cold Lake, -4 there, a little colder. It will be somewhat clear, not as cloudy as Lloydminster or North Battleford, and winds only coming in at 13 kilometers an hour. And as we look at tomorrow's forecast in Cold Lake, a high of 6 and cloudy, so some more clouds coming into Cold Lake tomorrow with those winds only at 15 kilometers an hour. Then as we look at tonight in Lloydminster, plenty of clouds. That precipitation is at 1, but in the later hours, like I said, you could see some chance of rain as it will be raining tomorrow. Then as we look at tomorrow's forecast throughout the day, 6 a.m. wake up time or around your wake up time, -1. It should be another cloudy day in the border city. Noon will be at 4 degrees. While 6 p.m. will be at 5, those clouds will remain. And then at midnight, 1 degree with some rain. It will be kind of like sleet out there. It won't be too cold, but if you're on the roads and overnight, please be careful on those roads. And then as we look at the 3-day forecast here in Lloyd, Thursday, high of 6 and a low of -1 with some clouds coming in. Friday, could see a shower in the morning, mostly cloudy, high of 6, low of -2. And then Saturday kicks back up with those warmer temperatures, plenty of sun to start off your weekend, high of 10 and a low of 0. That's all for your first look at our weather report. We'll have some more news with Leanne after the break.
The War Dogs Baseball Legion is the ultimate program of the Bulldogs Baseball Academy, where the most dedicated players in the region hone their skills for the upcoming baseball season, as well as a potential future in post-secondary ball. Our Thomas Wildman has more.
With warm weather hopefully on the horizon and the start of baseball season, the War Dogs Legion are getting some batting practice in.
Tonight, what we'll do is we will take some video of their swings, we'll assess them, and we'll give them some feedback and say, here's some things that are happening within the swing, here's some deficiencies, and then here's some cues that we would like to see happen. So then that way, when we're not having success, these are some things that we can turn to help our performance kind of get back on track as quickly as possible.
One of the main goals of the War Dogs program is to get players prepared and accepted to play college baseball. And pitcher Caleb Hoseif will be taking his talents to South Dakota.
Super exciting. It's been exactly what I've been working towards pretty much my whole life, and especially since Josh. He's really helped me out here, and I think it's going to be a big part of my life soon. So.
Two other War Dogs in Tyler Franz and Riker Newmeyer will be playing a little closer to home for the Edmonton Riverhawks.
I'm going to be going to Nate for electrician. I'm going to be doing that, and I'm going to be hopefully going for the varsity team first year, hopefully make that.
All of the War Dogs will be ready for baseball season when the regular seasons start this spring. Thomas Wildman, Primetime, local news.
Warmer weather has hit the area, with many getting excited about getting outside and enjoying a round of golf. Our Callum Hawker with more.
I'm joined by Riley Fletcher, the Pro Shop Manager at Rolling Green Golf Course. Riley, thanks so much for your time today. How's it going?
Doing great. Beautiful weather before we get some more snow here today.
Yeah, so spring weather is somewhat back and everything is clearing up. Do you guys have somewhat of an opening day plan?
Plans for opening date is within hopefully the next 2 weeks, of course, weather dependent, but looking to be probably in the next 10 to 14 days, we're thinking.
And is that for the range too, or do you guys have a range?
No driving range this year. We haven't had one for the last few years, but no driving range this year. The clubhouse will be opening for Poutine Week in support of Big Brothers Big Sisters, April 11th to the 17th for dine in and takeout. But so between then and now, still open for catering and that sort of stuff, but not the clubhouse won't be open until the 11th from 11 a.m. to 6:30. Golf course weather dependent.
Perfect. And maybe for a young kid or a newcomer to golf, what are some tips for them, and is Rolling Green a good golf course for them?
Tips for them is honestly, we encourage everyone to just come out and have some fun, get out and swing your clubs early. And yeah, book some times out here. We encourage bringing the family out. We enjoy having everyone's family and kids out. That is kind of our bread and not our bread and butter, but that is our what we encourage out here. I suppose we love the family atmosphere and making sure everyone has a great day throughout the entire family. With family, like we have our Mother's Day event coming up, so watch for the website for that. And then we'll be attending Flavor Fest in town as well to try out some new menu items that we were doing and have some local collaboration with Fourth Meridian. We have our own Rolling Green Citrus Sweet Ale coming in, so we're pretty excited about that as well. Yeah, lots of opportunity for everyone to come out and everyone to have fun, top to bottom, mom, dad, the kids, everyone else.
And you guys have an RV park as well. Is that open or is it opening soon?
So our RV park's open now for anyone looking to get into a camping spot or anyone new to the area that needs somewhere to stay. Our RV park's open, and yeah, we're taking phone calls all the time. So really excited for the season and really excited for the golf season to get started.
Riley, thanks so much for your time today. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be heading down to Rolling Green in a couple weeks for their first tee time of the year. So thanks again, Riley.
Thanks, Cal.
Time now to take a look at all of the pet pictures that you've been sharing with us on social media for our Pet of the Day.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to have them featured on Pet of the Day. I'm here with Jerry Jahane to talk about the upcoming Just Cruisin' Car Show coming to Lloydminster June 15th. Jerry, thank you so much for taking some time to speak with us today.
Well, no problem. We just got our stuff printed. It's we attend a car show in Saskatoon. It's all of it's on its way there. So, or I'd have more for you.
So, Jerry, how did you get into the car show business?
Well, I've been a member of Just Cruisin' Car Club for many, many years, and after being a member and attending various car shows, I approached our club and said, you know, we always go to car shows, but we never put one on. It's time for us to provide that privilege to other people to attend our car show and try to do a good job of that. So this will be our 16th annual car show.
And this year is the 16th edition of the Just Cruisin' Car Show. Jerry, how have you seen it change from its first year till now?
Well, our first car show would have been at the Lloyd Exhibition Grounds in conjunction with the exhibition itself in July. And at that point, we felt that we had enough vehicles and enough volunteers and enough interest that we should have our own separate identity and have our own car show. And so it kind of evolved over the years from a few cars to last year was our biggest and best one ever, with over 240 cars, plus vendors and all kinds of things to look at and have fun with.
And what can people expect from this year's event?
Well, absolutely. We have food vendors so that the people can have a snack. The whole idea is that it's to be a family event. And so we've incorporated some kids' activities as well. We have what we call Matchbox Car Racing, which is sponsored by Can Do. They're big cars. We set up a track and the kids can pick a car and race it against another car. And if they win, they keep the car. If they lose, they pick another car and keep racing until they win. And there's no charge for that. We also have something unique that no other car show offers, at least not in Canada, and it's a make and take. A make and take means that a child can come and pick a car. We have a couple of model cars, they're snap together cars, and they actually can build it on site with the help of the big brothers and big sisters. And they take the car with them, and there's no charge for that. So the first 200 kids get to do a make and take car.
And what are some of the coolest cars you've seen at these car shows?
Actually, this year, there's a gentleman who has the largest collection of Franklin antique car vehicles in Canada, possibly even North America. And we were at his place as a club here about a month ago, and he's agreed to bring one of the vehicles down for us. So that's going to be really cool. We also have a vehicle that's coming back this year for the second time. It's a 1928 Ford truck, totally made out of wood. The guy handcrafted this vehicle out of wood. It's amazing. It was there last year. It's the one that's on our poster. You want to see that up in front and close, then come on out for that. We're also going to have that Blue Line racing team going to fire up one of their vehicles a couple times during the day. So it'll be loud and proud and a place to be on the 15th of June.
And Jerry, thank you so much for taking some time to speak with us today. This car show seems like it'll be an incredible event for Lloydminster.
No worries. Come and call us anytime. I'll have more stuff for background.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery, downtown Lloydminster.
Stephanie Dobson is back with us this week. Stephanie is a lawyer, mediator, and online educator with Hankton Divorce Law and Mediation offices in Lloydminster and Edmonton. Stephanie, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me as usual, Stacey.
Well, today we're going to be talking about parenting plans, which is something that I know you really like to have in place when people are going through separation and divorce. But this time we're going to be talking about parents with high conflict. So first of all, let's talk about when there is a high conflict, how things can get started and how do you work out how you're going to parent your kids?
Well, whether there's high conflict or low conflict, all separated parents somehow will have to figure out a way to parent their children. The ultimate question really is how close or how distant that parenting will be or that parenting communication will be. Usually what I recommend is that the level of detail that you put in your parenting plan will be along a continuum. So as the conflict is escalated, I recommend more detail in the parenting plan. So I call it a parallel parenting plan when there's a lot of conflict. So if our viewers will think of it like two parallel lines where one parent parents over here with their own set of rules and children management, and then the other parent parents over here and does their own thing. And there's really not much crossover between the parents as far as communication, problem solving, or generally interacting. So in those kind of parenting plans, generally parents will act autonomously from one another. And, this is unfortunately the way that sometimes parents need to co-parent when there's a lot of conflict.
So why the parallel plan, Stephanie, as opposed to just the regular co-parenting plan?
So they're all called a parenting plan, but the question is the level of conflict. So my goal with the families that I work with is to help them to de-escalate conflict. And so I would rather, for the children's benefit, I would rather create a parenting plan that is me over here, you over there, and there's not much interaction, meaning hopefully not much conflict. I would rather that than create something where there's a lot of overlap and then there's more conflict, because we know from, of course, our viewers know from previous episodes, I am a fanatic on making sure that we can somehow try to reduce parental conflict, because we know that that's such a negative indicator for children as they develop.
So what do parents need to consider if they're going to go with this parallel parenting plan?
Well, first, think about communication. So this is often one of the most difficult things for parallel parents to do effectively. So it's important to make a very detailed plan for how communication will go. So I often recommend the first thing that goes is the text messaging. So, and verbal communication, generally speaking, the slower that we can create the communication, usually the better it goes. So something like email, or even better yet, a co-parenting app are my two recommendations for communication in a parallel parenting plan. plan. My next recommendation is to create as detailed of a parenting plan as possible. So I talked about that a moment ago. The higher the conflict is, the more important it is to have that roadmap for parental expectations right from the start. And last, try to avoid opportunities for conflict in front of the children as much as possible. So maybe in that parallel parenting plan, maybe you figure out a neutral place to exchange the children, or have it where the parents are not within earshot of the kids, or maybe you create a schedule as to who will attend what activities during the day. So whatever you can do to try to keep to your own parallel line, the better.
All right, Stephanie, well, good information as always. Thank you so much for chatting, and we'll be back again next week.
Thanks, Stacey.
Well, we have a wild story to bring you now out of West Vancouver. A 13-year-old is facing several charges after crashing a Lamborghini on a highway. Take a look at this picture from police in West Vancouver. Police say officers were called about a single vehicle collision on the Trans-Canada Highway at about 11 p.m. on Monday night. When they arrived, nobody was in the Lamborghini, which was abandoned in a ditch. Police say they conducted an exhaustive search to find who was in the vehicle, and it turns out a 13-year-old was driving at the time of the crash. Well, Callum, those vehicles cost several hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yes. What kind of punishment do you think we would have gotten as kids for doing that?
Man, I honestly don't even know. Like, I don't know what you would do there. Like, when I was a kid, I never even thought about taking my parents' car out for a little joyride. You know, I hope he's obviously okay. I hope everyone's okay involved in that. But yeah, just punishment-wise, I don't even know.
Yeah. Well, that is all we have for you this evening. Thank you for joining us, and have a good night.